Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Caleb Dennison, and as I'm sure you can tell from the thumbnail on this video, I have some big news to share. So I'm just gonna get right into it. After 13 years of reviewing TVs, headphones, soundbar speakers, and receivers here, and making the best video content I know how, I am leaving.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine.
This building, you didn't think I was leaving the channel, did you? Well, that might have been slightly intentional. Yes, my friends, I am super excited to share that Digital Trends is changing locations, and part of that process involves the whole video team moving into a new studio space that we are customizing from the ground up. I am super excited to take you to the new space and show it to you as it exists now, tell you what we're gonna be doing in the coming weeks, and then of course, we'll have a big reveal. It is going to be amazing, so stick around. But right now, I feel like I ought to give this space we've been in a proper thanks and send off. So we don't break the fourth wall on this channel very often, and because of that, many of you may not know much about this space that we've been in all this time. Digital Trends has been on the 10th floor of the US Bancorp Tower, affectionately known around here as Big Pink for pretty obvious reasons. And we've been here for a little over 15 years. This is where I started my journey and produced my first tech review video. So in some ways, it's gonna be hard to leave, but for many other reasons, I'm extremely excited to move on. What you may not know about operating in a big business tower like this is that getting gear in and out can be a real hassle. There's 2 freight elevators you have to take to get to the loading dock to receive or send off any gear. So just getting a TV delivery can be like a whole half-hour process. I'd rather be shooting video with that time, honestly. I can't show you any of that stuff because it's against building rules. But speaking of building rules, that's also created some other challenges here. I can't install wall mounts, I can't install a projector screen here, not without a bunch of red tape. I can't do in-wall speaker wire or HDMI cable runs. I can't mount speakers. All of that is about to change. We've also been stuck with this acoustic tile drop ceiling for a while, which among other things can be a real hassle for us because it limits how high we can move our studio lights, and we're always banging into stuff because really this room is kind of small for a full video production studio. The thing I'm really excited to get away from, however, is something that we've had to work really hard to hide from you. And that's the noise coming from outside this building. We may be on the 10th floor here, but we are not at all isolated from any number of noises. And that includes ambulance sirens, fire truck sirens, police sirens, loud motorcycles, cars with intentionally loud exhaust systems that probably cost more than the car itself, light rail train bells, commercial train horns, and my personal favorite, bus farts. If you know, you know. Honestly, I probably get interrupted while shooting videos just like this one at least 15 times per video. Jesus, holy f***ing shit. We often have to wait a good 2 minutes for the noise to go away. The amount of time I have wasted sitting here just waiting for noise to stop, I don't even want to know how many hours of my life it has taken. So yeah, while in some ways leaving this building is going to be hard, I mean, we've been here for 15 years. A lot of memories, a bit of nostalgia involved with this space, but also like there are some great people that work at this building, folks that I see every single day. Special shout out to Jeff and Miles on the security team who have had to help me wrangle TVs and deal with confused drivers more times than I can count. I especially appreciate you guys and I'm gonna miss you. But also, I'm excited to leave some of those challenges behind. And in moving to the new space, embark on building a whole new level of video and audio content for all of you guys. So with that, I wanna show you the new spot. Let's take a quick trip. Welcome to the future home of DT Studios. Okay, we're inside now, and the first thing I want to point out is this garage door. Kind of a game changer for us because it's going to shorten the delivery and shipping times of everything that we need to pull in here. I'm really excited about this silly garage door. It's going to make a huge difference. So what we found is a great loft style flex space. Having a loft is going to come in clutch for, well, I'm gonna save the details around that for the big reveal video. But the thing I wanna point out right now is perhaps this space's greatest attribute, which also happens to be the source of its greatest challenge. And that would be the 14-foot high ceilings. No longer battling a drop ceiling, we now have the flexibility to light this room pretty much any way we want. That's the good news. The bad news is, well, you can probably hear it very well right now. Between the high ceilings, the concrete floors, and mason wall, we actually have 2 mason walls in here. This area is an echo chamber. When we first got in here, before we put any rugs in here or any furniture, the slap echo decay time was about 5 to 5.5 seconds. You could really hear it ring for that long. Now, I recently saw a video that Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, put out about when they treated their new space. The first thing that they did was get acoustic treatments done for the space. And we're gonna do that here, but I'll talk about that in a moment. The other thing I'm really excited about here is this absolutely massively open feature wall. We have done some painting, but that's pretty much all we've done at this point. This wall being so large means that we can feature projector screens if we want to. We can have TVs side by side, flush, so we don't have to angle them anymore. And there's just tons that we can do with this space. I can't wait for you to see how we transform this wall and turn it into a beautiful part of our videos. One other thing I want to mention here is that we have once again partnered with BDI for the media console furniture. So we have about 550 pounds worth of BDI stuff here. I know that you guys love the corridor media cabinet that we've featured in all our TV review videos and most of our audio review videos for the past several years. But we felt like we need a fresh look. We have big plans for this space. So we reached out to BDI to talk to them about some of their newer offerings, and we've got a few here. So in the big reveal video, you'll get to see the 2 new media consoles from BDI, as well as a couple of other select pieces of furniture that I'm excited to share with you. So back to the echo problem. Obviously, it's bad for videos like this where my voice is going to be super echoey, but it's bad for audio in general. I would never want to test speakers in here, sound bars, any audio devices. I'm not going to get a good representation of that sound. We definitely needed to do something in this space to get things under control. And in order to do that, I decided to call in a professional. Let's meet him right now. And we're back. I'm here with Phil Allen of Sound Palace Design. And Phil, I was really lucky to find you because I was searching for stuff online, thinking maybe I would just buy prefabbed panels and kind of figure out where to put them. And then I realized I was really in over my head. Then I ran into your website during the search. Tell me a little bit about what you do in this area.
Well, we do a lot of acoustical treatment for restaurants, venues, corporate centers, things like that. And we're bridging the gap between the consumer and the business, because a lot of people can find these products, but they need to have the service-based business that comes help put them in, location, and emitting all that.
Okay, so my story is not a new one to you. There's a lot of people who think they're gonna DIY sound treatments and find out maybe not the best idea.
Right, end up people buying the wrong products, putting them on their walls, they don't do anything.
Instagram has got my number now because I did just a couple of searches, and the next thing I know, it's like acoustic slat wall this and acoustic panel that. And the problem was I couldn't really get a feel for like what was in the product, whether that was a good sound dampening product, how thick it needed to be. But also, from what I understand, when you're trying to control a room sound, where you put this stuff is just as important as what you're putting up. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, it really makes a difference of, also the sound that you're doing in your room. If it's your office or if it's your theater, it all really depends on the different type of acoustical treatment that you do need for that. And, with stereo systems and theaters, we want to find the first point of reflection that the speakers are bouncing off of and get that sound absorption in those places. If you're doing a lot of low end, you're going to want thicker sound absorption panels,
right.
The thin stuff, is only taking out that high frequency, which is good for some places, but it usually doesn't work for what people want it to.
We had you over here a few days ago before a lot of this stuff was in here to get an initial read on the room. We did a lot of clapping and a lot of yelling. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being one of the most problematic spaces that you've worked in, where would you rank this space?
I'd probably put this at a 7 or 8, depending, especially at the work that you want to try to do in here. And if anyone can hear right now, it's probably a little boomy.
Trying to record videos like this where there's voiceover and we don't want a bunch of echo like we're kind of getting right now, bleeding into the mic. So that is really important. But also with testing speakers and sound bars and subwoofers in this space, I kind of wanted it to be representative of what somebody's living room might actually be. Maybe a little bit better. So tell me about what you're going to do in here for us.
Well, we're first probably going to start with the size of the ceiling. The ceilings are really high in here. So we're going to cloud it out, which we'll put 8 to 12 panels on this ceiling in this space. We're going to have reflection points over here that the speakers are hitting, as well as a slat wall behind it to aesthetically be pleasing, but also has a great absorption value.
Awesome, man. Well, I am really excited for you to get to work. Honestly, we're kind of in a holding pattern until we can get that work done. The materials have to come in and all that stuff. So when we come back for the full reveal video, we're going to see everything that you're doing and then the final product. This place is going to look and sound a lot different. Okay, guys, there you go. Clearly, we've got quite a challenge ahead of us, but I think the work is going to be worth it because in the end, we're able to build this place from the ground up and make it exactly as we want it, all in service of bringing you richer, better looking content. It's totally going to be worth it. Let me just ask for your patience because as you're going to see in the videos that come after this, before the big reveal, we're going to have to do some shooting here, some at the old spot. It's going to be a mix of both while we make this transition. There's just no getting around that. So your patience is appreciated. I do promise you it will be worth it. Can't wait to show it to you folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like.